Hey, everybody. We're here again for our 23rd episode of Sportstake Live. You got the crew. Me, Jeff, and Brother Phil. And we got some powerful guests, as always, to talk about the world of sports. And it is so much going on. Let me fix my camera a little bit here. I'm sorry. Everything is all right. There we go. Pretty good. I am going to allow our guests to introduce themselves. And let me get myself a good angle here. There we go. That's a little better. All right. My Jeff, share who you want to introduce.
We want to introduce DeShannon Campbell. First, DeShannon Campbell is big time, All-American from JY. He came out, I believe, in 90 or 91. He was inducted into the JY Hall of Fame in 2021, 6'5", 235-pounder. Went on to Colorado. Shannon, tell us the rest after that.
Well, first of all, I just want to appreciate you guys, man, for what y'all doing and to show y'all having to give the history of Jack Yates and just giving relevant to what we do in our communities. I also played at University of Colorado for a few years, transferred to University of Nevada, made some All-Americans first team, D tackle, linebacker, and also got picked up by New Orleans Saints for a brief moment. But first of all, I'm thankful, I'm blessed, and I'm glad to see everybody is in health, regardless of the structure of your homes, and as long as your family and yourself are blessed. So I'm thankful to be here at this day.
Appreciate you, man. We appreciate you, DeShannon.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Folks, we have Blaine Smith. Just real quick, call. We have Blaine Smith. He's been on the show a couple of times. Blaine Smith was a starting safety for JY, big time. Went on to start SMU for the SMU Mustangs. I believe he played for a little spell in the NFL. So we have Blaine Smith there in the blue, and then we got G-Rod as Gilbert Rodriguez. Gilbert Rodriguez has been on the show like 3 times. He was a starting guard for the Wheatley Wildcats. Played for big-time head coach Jackie Carr, Hall of Fame coach Jackie Carr. Then went on to play for Prairie View A&M University. When he showed up at PV, he showed up. I was my senior year. He was a freshman there. So that's G-Rod. So I just want to make sure that everybody got a proper introductions. Then we can get started. There we go. And of course, we got Philip Green. We got Philip Green's a big-time star too now. Philip Green, don't forget my brother. My brother was a star over there at Austin High School. After leaving JY, he's a big-time star at Austin High School. So we want to make sure you guys know that all these guys are ballers. So we ain't just bringing anybody on this show. We bringing ballers on here. So you guys have to understand that and make sure that you give them the respect. There you go, Carl.
All right. Yes, we welcome all our guests, and always a shout out to our brother Phil Green. So yes, indeed. And we have a lot going on in the world of sports. Today there was the opening ceremonies, which I did not get to see, but I heard it was spectacular that LeBron James carried the flag along with, was it Coco Gauff?
Yes. Yes.
So what do we say, Gil, what you say about the opening ceremonies?
And for LeBron and Coco to lead off with the flag is a big deal. That's probably something that we could probably never imagine for a basketball player and a tennis player, African-American descent, to be carrying that flag after what went down in 1968 in Mexico City with Juan Carlos. That to me, man, is a monumental step. And I'll go ahead and kick off with this to make it even more of an issue. Go Kamala Harris, man. We can't let that.
Amen.
I'm gonna inject that right now. I'm not voting for that other clown. Period.
Amen.
I agree with you 100%.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. What are some of the expectations? We have been talking about this maybe the last 3 shows, and we have looked forward to the time. I just saw Dwayne Wade speaking about the United States chances and how that had changed from when he played in 92 on the Olympic team of 92 to today. They basically wiped out everybody with 30 points or more, as opposed to this United States team almost lost to South Sudan. So that's a lot of possibilities. What do you say, Brother Blaine? How are the U.S. team gonna do against the world?
Well, I look at it two ways. If they go out there and they treat it like an all-star game, they will get beat. But if they go out there and treat it like an actual serious game, they should beat their opponents by a minimum of 10 points. I mean, these guys are too good. Even though a lot of the other teams have NBA players as well, they still can't compare to the top 20 guys that we got in the world on that team. So as long as they take it seriously and not like an all-star game, they should be fine.
If I could interject real quick, and this is going to be very, very, very quick, very subtle. I played for Wheatley High School for a man named Jackie Carr, and he told us every game we had a target on our back. Everybody wanted to beat us. That was going to be their state championship if we lost to what was considered a lesser opponent. South Sudan, you got to give them credit. They played their butts off, but they are nowhere near the caliber of players that the United States put on the floor. And to me, to your point, you can't let down right now on anybody. It don't matter if you're going. My coach used to tell us, if you can win by 20, beat them by 30. If you don't want to beat them by 30, then come on out the game. We'll put somebody else in who wants to beat people. Period.
Brother
DeShannon,
your comment. Go ahead.
If I can say something on that, also, when you're good, people are going to give their best to beat the best. So if you're not prepared mentally and physically and spiritually, if you just go out there just doing it and going through the motions, hey, you can lose by 3 points. You can lose by 1 point. Just like I've been in games where we know on paper we're better than the teams that we're prepared for and playing. But if that team, you keep them sticking around, they'll find ways to beat you. And if it's just by a field goal and you watching that ball go through the uprights, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose that game. And at the end of the day, you're going to know you was better than the team, but people don't want to hear that. They want to know you are better than this team. They want to see, especially as Americans, we the powerhouse. But guess what? The other nations are powerful what they do. So you have to respect these teams and go out there and be mentally and physically prepared to do your jobs.
Amen.
Phil.
Go ahead, Phil.
Phil, what you say?
Well, everybody's given the narrative that I believe too, that we are better by far, technically and physically. We just have to put it all together at the right time, the right game. You can't take a day off. You can't take a practice off. You can't take anything off. Like Blaine and Gil and your man said earlier, no way we should lose. But there are other teams, and Carl, you have been saying it from the get-go. Other countries have closed the gap. That is true.
Right.
But on the worst day, we still should be superior to them and win these games. And eventually it's not going to be that way. But right now, right today, on paper, on the court, there's no way we should lose, in my opinion.
I'm not going to say any more. I done said my case. I'm going to just say for all y'all, this is going to show y'all. That's all I'm going to say. I've been saying it all along.
I got a point. I want to make a point on this.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is how I feel. I mean, I'm echoing what everybody else is saying. Everybody else has an opinion. I want an opinion too. Anyway, I just don't see us losing, man. The only way we lose is if we get some bad calls, we get some Rick attack calls early on, where we get key guys in foul trouble, or we have injuries, or we have bickering, where we're not sharing a ball. If those kind of things happen, then yeah, the margin of error is much less now than it was back in 1992. You got to realize back in 1992, when the Dream Team went to the Olympics, they were playing against an inferior competition. Those guys had never played against NBA players. They went to the NBA. The Dream Team went up against a total of 9 NBA pedigree players. this team that the USA has to go up against this Olympics, they got to go up against 61 NBA players. Teams, 61 NBA players. That's their competition now versus the 92 team went up against 9. So you have to understand the competition has gotten tougher, but it's because we are bringing them over here and we are training them to become better players. It's like being a company, a corporation, and you're sharing all your secrets with your competitors. So now you're making your competitors stronger. So yeah, they're gonna you give them an opportunity to be able to top you because you're sharing your secrets. You let them come in your league, and you're helping them increase their skill set so that they can be able to beat you. So it just is what it is. But you want them to come over here because it's all about the money. We understand that.
Understood. There are many other highlights of the Olympics that are coming, but the opening ceremony kind of set the stage for it. And from what I hear in the highlights I saw, it was a very powerful occasion. But what are some of the highlights that you hope to see? Brother DeShannon, what are some of the things you hope to see? Is it the gymnastics? Is it the track and field? What do you hope to see?
Well, me personally, I like the track and field and swimming. We dominated a lot in those two fields as far as individual talents, but like you say, it's a competition against the world. So I think you have to mentally prepare yourself to go out there and do your best and give your best, because as we know, you got to look at it this way. When you're in the Olympics, every day is your championship. So somebody's going to capitalize off your mistakes you make. You can't make the mistakes, and you got to be at your best every moment, every hour, because if you're trying to finish first, you got to give it your best. You might wake up with a cold, you might be achy, something might be going on mentally, physically, and you just got to know how to put things aside and put what you're doing right in front of you at the moment. Because if you haven't been in a championship game or championship moment, one thing about being a champion, you win by practicing, preparing mentally, spiritually, but also a little luck. So
that's true. That's true.
It's gonna be some luck in there, because somebody might
always
be right
better be lucky
back.
than good.
Hey, is somebody gonna be in your back and you hoping they ain't got that extra kick in them, or if it's swimming, or if it's whatever the event is, you just got to give your best and not give up. But at the same time, you got to know how to win. You got to know how to lose, because at the end of the day, the Olympics are beautiful because it displays a worldly competition that we're not the only ones in this world that's mentally, physically athletic.
Understood. One thing I wanted to say about track and field, as well as all of the sports to a certain extent, you have so many times where you have to be at your best. You run all those pre-trials, semifinals, and so you have to be at your best the whole time, over and over and over. Blaine, what are you looking for?
Well, I'm waiting to hear and see what Simone Biles does from the last time when she went out with her mental illness. But I'm hearing right now she has a new performance that she's going to do on the bars, and she's hiding it from everybody from the Olympics, so they're going to see it for the first time. So I'm can't wait to see that. Track and field, I want to see. I know the guys are going to dominate, but I want to see the girls come out and dominate too, and jump on Jamaica.
Yes,
that's that competition. That's that head-to-head right there.
Yeah, Jamaica's powerful.
Yes. Yes.
They all train here in the United States.
Right.
Yeah, they the fastest people on earth, though.
Alabama's and
University
every college you can think of, you got Jamaica sprinkled all up in there. So
they the fastest people. They the fastest people on earth. I promise you.
Carl. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, G. Carl, what I'm looking forward to is All of it. I'm looking forward to the men's hoops dominating, getting the gold medals. I'm looking forward to the women dominating. I get to see my girl Aja Wilson. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to seeing Shakira Richardson win the 100 meters. I'm looking forward to seeing Noah Lyles dominate in the 100 and the 200. 9.83. I'm looking for him to just get a 9.75. I'm looking for a 9.75 for the Olympics. That guy's the real deal, but he's got a lot of competition. I'm looking forward to seeing Gabby Thomas in the 200. Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
goodness, you know that girl is bad. That girl is bad. The 400, the quarter mile, you got Ellis, you got Butler, you got Holmes. I think two of those guys, I think, had a chance to go 1, 2, 3. Then you got the men's 100, you got Lyles, you got Curly. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing Sydney McLaughlin. I'm looking forward to seeing Simone Biles. I'm looking forward to all of it, man. All of it.
Ain't nobody gonna catch
Understood.
Sydney, bro.
Hey, Phil, you want to share what you're looking forward to seeing?
Well, the Olympics in itself is just a great event. You know, you always think back to the wide world of sports of the theme that they had. Yeah. You know how it explained everything. That was always something we grew up on, and now that's the part I like. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. You get to see that in so many athletes. So I'm looking forward to seeing that across the board when they're on that victory platform 1, 2, and 3. You know, gold, silver, and bronze. Who is it going to be? Is it somebody you thought, somebody you didn't think?
Right.
That's just the thrill of watching the Olympics for me.
Understood. Gil, give us that final word on what you're looking forward to.
Well, I'll tell you this: the gymnastics on the women's side, Simone Biles got that sewn up. They're trying to ban some of her moves. They're like, she can't do that because nobody else in the world can do it.
Exactly.
That's what the Russian delegation already stepped up and asked about that. I'm like, y'all need to be quiet, man. All those injections you guys took, you want to eat back in the 70s.
They wanted to water it down. They were trying to water it down where she could only do certain moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they could only do certain moves.
Exactly.
So they could kind of grade them.
I know that's right. Tell him, Blaine.
We're going to talk about basketball for a second here, but first I want to ask about how is this new super billion-dollar television deal going to impact the players in the league or as well as the broadcasting? How is that going to impact? We may not have Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal anymore. So how is that across the board going to impact basketball? Brother Blaine, would you like to share that?
Well, I think if they don't have the athletes on there, you taking away from the sport because these guys are speaking from the inside and they see things that the normal eye does not see. And you can't take that away from the public. So if they do that, then it's going to be a disgrace to me.
I'm sure they'll get other players to take on the new role. However, nobody said they might not add Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley. It's happened before many times where they changed network with the contract. So I can see that happening too. Go ahead, Gil.
I don't know if it's going to affect the actual play or the players. However, people look forward to watching TNT with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and the big fella because they had a dynamic that had been established for years and years and years. So we look forward to that, man. We look forward to the insight. To my man's point, we look forward because we knew that they were going to give us an insight that we didn't understand and we didn't see because we haven't played at that level. So from that perspective, yeah, people are going to miss Charles. People are going to miss Ernie. People are going to miss Big Shaq and Kenny. But I don't know if it's going to affect the actual play. The play speaks for itself. And we saw that in the summer. I'm going to say a little tidbit real quick. We saw all the people they paid or they're going to pay a bunch of millions to, and a lot of them did not play up to that potential, man. I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. Brother DeShannon, what you feel about that?
Piggybacking off what he's talking about, change is good sometimes, but at the same time, if you watch the show, as I think we have the TNT shows and the ESPNs with Mark Jackson and Van Gundy, these guys meshed together. It was a chemistry. It's like a team meshing together. And people look forward to that because you get the insides and the outsides of the game. You get better explanations of the game. I'm not saying other people won't do those things, but when you get comfortable with something, especially at the ages we are, we've been around a while to understand, like, we know what works. But guess what? We don't write the checks. But at the same time,
Big checks.
That's the bottom line.
Checks too.
so time's gonna change. But all I can do say, hopefully we will be able to understand and cheer these people on, that whoever's in the line of being the commentators and explaining the sport to us. So, even though I hate to see these guys go, but at the same time, we got to bless the ones that are coming. So, just we have to stay in a positive mind state. And it's not the end of the world, but at the same time, we still love those ones because we grew up with them. We watched them. Half of we watched them in college, high school, college, and professional life. So we've been around just like newscasters. We grew up seeing Marvin Zinlers and Dave Ward. And, when they retire or they, something health issues, we hate to see them. But like now, just to say this, when you watch the news now, you got so many people you don't even know. And then about 3-4 months later, it's somebody new. So it makes you not tune in to those stations. So
Exactly.
Slime in the ice machine.
Hey,
I
hold
missed the
on, G.
slime in
You
the
remember
ice
this
machine.
one? Hey, G, you remember this? It is 10 o'clock. Where are
Yes.
your children? Who remember that one?
hey,
That's
I
Dave
got
Ward.
Dave Ward,
Remember that?
wasn't it?
Hey,
Huh?
I
That's
got
Dave
one
Ward.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that was
Yeah,
Dave
the
Ward.
report.
Hey,
Yep,
Phil, you
Dave
have a
Ward.
comment on that? On the Amazon deal?
Well, I mean, it's about the money. Let's get that straight off the table. I mean, they got outbid it, and the guys like young man was saying, we were used to. I mean, Kenny, Charles, Ernie, Shaq came along actually kind of late into the show.
Right.
The show's been off over 20-some years, but
Right.
his input was so powerful because he was real. Just gave it to you straight, and if he didn't like some Kenny or Charles or Ernie said, he let him know. And they
Let 'em
built
know.
a real good family team.
Yeah.
And Blaine can speak to that. We go back to the wild, and we still got
Yep.
ties with those guys. Real, ask me about Blaine or something,
Yep.
But when you do something, it don't have to be a long time, but it has to be the strength and energy that you respect the other person. And they did do that, if nothing else. So that show is going to be missed. But wherever they, Amazon, whoever they come up with to put on, we're still going to watch. We're still going to see what's new, how it likes, and we're going to like it or we're not going to like it. But it's going to get what it is because they paid for it. And when
Right.
like you said, you sign the check, you write the money out, then that's what follows. People they choose, we may or may not know them. Hopefully it'll be the type of synergy that we've seen before with a group of athletes or whoever the sportscaster is, because some of the better sportscasters never touched a playing field or a ball or a coach or atmosphere that it feels good to be a part of a team. But we'll see. I'll wait and give it credence, like he said. That makes sense. Let's just see what happens.
It's just going to take time. It's just going to take time. You have to understand, anytime you come up with a new team, you got to give that team a chance to gel and get adapted to playing with one another. Same thing with a broadcast team. So Amazon, I'm pretty sure they're going to put together a good team. I mean, because Charles, you have to understand, Charles opted out of his contract. He signed a 10-year deal about 2 or 3 years ago with TNT, but he opted out because he saw that they was going to probably lose his contract. So he opted out. So Charles, there's still a chance he can go to Amazon. So it depends on what those other guys got going on with their contract. And you never know. You might see 1 or 2 of those guys over there with the new team that they assembled with Amazon. But it's just going to take us a time to get adjusted to it. But we'll get used to it. We always do. We adapt to everything. We're creatures that we're adaptive. We can adapt to anything.
Hey, Jeff, did you get a chance to watch any of the Summer League NBA games?
Yes, I did.
Give us some highlights and summary. What are I saw one guy got MVP of the league, like I forgot the Rockets player's name, but
Josh Christopher. I hate that they let. Okay, I'll take it from your call on that.
Okay, all right.
Josh Christopher, I hate that they let that guy go. Josh Christopher's a 6'5" guard. He's a combo guard. He can play the 1 and the 2. But after that situation, that video that came out, I don't know if you guys remember the video. I don't want to go into the details of the video, but it was a nasty video with him and Jalen Green. And when that surfaced, next thing I know, they ended up getting rid of Josh Christopher. Now, Josh Christopher was not the giver in that video. He was the receiver in that video. Y'all don't remember that, but
Give us a little background. Did they have a bad fight or something?
No.
Oh man.
No,
Carl. No, this
Okay,
is
I didn't put it out there. Go ahead and answer the question.
You don't want me to go into details. This was X-rated. We'll leave it there.
Okay. Well, that's how you got to say.
Show.
That's how you got
So
to say.
anyway, but they were kids. They were like high school guys, and I don't know how they let that get on recorded. I don't know why you let that get recorded. Anyway, they ended up getting rid of Josh Christopher, but Josh is a talented player. And so right now he's with Miami. He was the MVP of the Summer League. He had an outstanding Summer League. So I'm hoping that he could bounce back because he is a talented player. I hate to see the Rockets let him go because they really didn't get anything for him. They just gave him away just to get him out of here because they guess they think if you let a guy do that to you, we don't want you on our team.
Yeah.
Speaking of players coming back, Kevin Porter Jr. with the Clippers.
Yeah. Kevin Porter Jr. Okay, but wait, hold on. We're back to Summer League. Let me tell you what I saw. Okay, as far as the Rockets are concerned, I have to admit, Reed Shepherd, he impressed me.
What you say, Jeff?
Reed Shepherd, he impressed me.
Okay, all right.
Reed Shepherd impressed me. I saw his highlights with Kentucky, but I didn't know how that was going to translate to the NBA game. I mean, number one, hold on. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. The guy is 6'1.5". How many 6'1.5" white boys are in the NBA? I'm going to say it like I'm going to say it. How many 6'1.5" white boys are in the NBA? How many 6'1.5" white boys who start in the NBA? All the guards in the NBA. Not one. So when they drafted him number 3 overall, I'm like, are you serious? They actually took him number 3 overall. But in Summer League, in the 4 games he played in, he averaged 20 points a game, shot 50% from the field, averaged 5 rebounds and 5 assists. So he has a feel. That guy has a feel for the game. He reminds me a lot of Mark Price. I don't know if you guys remember Mark Price with Cleveland. You remember that guy played with John Hot Rod and those guys?
Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech.
Hey, that man's a baller,
He reminds me, huh?
That dude is a baller. That's why they drafted him. He came off the bench.
Thank you.
Exactly.
That's one of them guys that didn't have nothing to lose, but they had something to prove.
Yep.
And when you got guys like that on your team, I can speak for it. I played with guys, man, was defensive end, was 6 feet tall. But they made so much racket and noise on the end, people paid attention to them. So guess what? If you are an athlete, you're going to free up yourself to make the plays. But that guy alone, he got a game that most people don't know, and they're gonna try to study his game. But he like 4 or 5 years ahead of everybody right now. If you think about it,
I agree. As far as his feel for the game, I agree with that.
Right,
that guy has a tremendous feel for the game.
Look, he can dribble, he can assist, he can shoot, but he got a 6'10" mentality. When he go in the paint, he go dunk on you.
Yeah,
and a white boy.
Yeah. So I was impressed with him. Hold on, let me finish. I was impressed with him. I was impressed with Cam Whitmore. He looks really, really good. I was impressed with him. I was really hoping to see. Huh?
He was the MVP last year, so we know he was like.
Right. I was impressed with him. I was also impressed with Orlando Robinson, but they didn't keep him. He signed with someone else. He was their best big man. I really was hoping that Dante was going to step up, the guy from Oregon, Denali Dante, but he really didn't show anything.
I told you that when they signed him.
Huh?
I told you that when they signed him. He wasn't gonna work.
Oh, you told us that?
I remember I said he was just like the guy they already had on the roster.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go back and check that film and see if you told me that. You better.
I see those opportunities, Jeff. You can check it out if you want. But
We,
the
we
guy
don't ha- we don't have a we
the
don't have
guy they
a
already
check
on the
person
roster
on the
that they
screen.
didn't need, they just signed another one. I was like, okay, why do that?
Right.
He was like, yeah, okay.
Right. Also, they picked up Jack McVeigh. Jack McVeigh plays on the Australian Olympic team. 6'8" forward, can play the 4 and the 3. Outstanding shooter. Good pickup. That's a good pickup. The Rockets are deep. Dude, the Rockets are 3 units deep. When I mean by 3 units deep, that means they're 15 deep. I'm serious. You can come out on your 3rd unit. I got Reed Shepard on the 3rd unit. Reed Shepard's not on my 2nd unit. My 2nd unit guards is Cam Whitmore and Amon Thompson. And then I have Tara Eason at small forward with Jeff Green at power forward with Stephen Aquaman Adams at center.
But
I
that's
got Reed
not how
Shepard on the 3rd unit.
But Udoka
Huh?
rotation doesn't work like Udoka's
I was getting ready to
rotation.
say,
It don't work like that.
it ain't no 1 and 2 and 3 with them.
Yeah, Udoka got a different rotation. You see
Right.
how he rotated guys in Boston, and he had way more talent than he got here. He'll probably keep it to about 8 or 9 players at best.
I don't know how you can do that 8 and 9.
Well,
I see him
he can.
I see him
best
playing at
state of
least
mind.
10. I see at least 10,
No.
maybe 11.
You may have him, but that's not how he rotates. If you watch his rotation pattern from Boston to Houston, he even did it here in Houston. How many guys you saw him play here? How many guys
He
you
got to
saw him
loosen
play
it
here?
up. He's gonna have
He
to
did not
loosen
go
it up.
10.
He's gonna have to loosen that up. You got too many players. This team
You
is
would
too
think.
deep.
I agree with you. You would think, but his pattern has not been that way. Let's see. We hope we do.
Okay.
Hope he has enough confidence.
But
You
very
got a lot
impressive.
of time to look into that
Yeah.
before next year. But one thing that just happened was the WNBA All-Star game. Did we check that out?
I saw some of it. I didn't see all of it. I saw maybe 10 minutes of it.
I don't
Rookie of
know
the
if
year.
you all remember. I said the girl for Dallas has a step back like
You
James
did
Harden.
say that.
Arike.
Umbugawa, whatever her name is, the girl from Dallas. The one that
Yeah.
hit 34 points in the second half.
34 points. Yep. She's
From Notre
bad.
Dame.
That's a bad
She's
girl.
good in
On a
college. She's
show.
been good in the pros.
It
Yep.
was an exciting game too.
Yep.
I mean,
No.
and Jeff has been saying this online that, hey, the girls are going to another standard. I think they got a $2.2 billion television contract.
Yep. They did.
did.
And they said
And
I was
so-
in the next
They did.
2 years. They said I was going to escalate.
Hey.
Yes.
We've been
They
saying
have
it's
it.
coming. It was a matter of time. They have been
Yeah.
progressing in the right
Yeah.
direction. I've been saying.
Yep.
Let me
Can I say
interject
Ladies
something
gonna
right
get
quick?
paid. The
Hey,
ladies
check
gonna
if I
get
said
paid.
that, Jeffrey.
Huh?
Check if I said
Something right
that.
quick.
Check if I said
Yep.
that about
Yeah.
how they've been progressing, and it was coming.
Yeah, you've been saying that. You have been saying that.
Hey, can I say something
And
right quick?
Angel
on
Reese
that,
and Caitlin Clark helped to push it forward. Angel
Absolutely.
Reese is taking advantage of her opportunity so much everywhere you look, online or anywhere else. There she is, starting commercials. And I saw Shakari on a commercial. Gabby's been on commercials. So they are taking advantage of their opportunities, and,
Yeah.
and it's good to see. And deservedly so, that is building up, just like we've been saying. So
I've been saying, Carl, they need to take advantage of those women's beauty and their sex appeal. Take advantage of it. They want to get paid, then utilize every asset that they have. And those women are beautiful. And
Yes,
you
it's
need to
amazing
display
that-
it.
that
You need
some
to
of them,
market
yes.
it.
yes,
I
Yes,
see how
it's
Angel
amazing
marketing
that-
her. I talk to Angel
Yeah.
all the time. That's my girl. Well, I mean, that's my goddaughter. And man, we talk all the time. I done made all kinds of videos about her. She said, "You're my #1 fan." I was like, "I ain't your fan. I'll be your godfather, but I ain't your fan." But anyway, oh man, I love the way she marketed herself. That girl, she getting paid. She getting money from the revenue streams from all over the place.
From everywhere.
She got revenue streams all over
doing
the
a
place.
great job, great job.
Yep.
Brother DeShawn, football is coming up. Who do you see as some of the favorites starting right around the corner?
Well, first of all, you see what I'm rocking. The DeShannon.
Yeah.
Hey,
There you go.
so
There you go.
since 2002, I've been rocking with my boys, but I'm gonna say this here, it's like Christmas and it's the holidays to me. When football season gets to training camp, that's like Halloween. When August get here, that's my November. When September come here, that's my December. Because it's something my wife was just telling me the other day, you love football. I said, well, yeah, I'm in love with it because it's something I was good at. It's something I love. It's something I pay attention to. Football is the ultimate team sport, and people don't realize what all goes into being just not an athlete, but a football player, because you got different positions require different assignments. And if you can put that together, the type of team that you can develop. So I'm excited, not just because of CJ and Andersons, but I'm excited for D'Amico. Just to share a story with you. You know, I'm a manager, and one of my jobs I had a year ago, I was managing over a station over here in Siena, and I watch a lot of these guys come in my store. I talk to them, build relationships with them. But when D'Amico left, went to Philadelphia. You know, I watched him since he was in Alabama, and when he came back, I knew he retired, and he was standing in one of the lines, and he hollering, "Big fella." I said, "Oh, D, what's up?" I call him D. "What's up, D?" I said, "Man, what you doing with some jeans on? Had a t-shirt on. He was dirty." He said, "He's working in the oil field." And this is a true story. He was working in the oil field with oil refineries. And he's saying he was getting ready to go coach at San Francisco. I said, okay, well, that's cool. And we talked a little bit. And I also told him, I said, well, what you going to be coaching? Of course, defense, linebackers. So just the talk, we hit it off about just the vibe. And I said, well, you know, I was a middle linebacker. Oh, for real? I'm like, yeah, I'm playing the same position and the same type of attitude. I wouldn't call coach, I would terminate X. So I was trying to knock you out and make you quit and make your mom and grandma come at the locker room and talk to me afterwards. But
DeShannon, how tall were you? How big and tall were you at Yates?
I was 6'4", 230. 225, 230, 235 in the line.
A middle linebacker. That's an outstanding size for a linebacker in high school. I mean,
that's huge. That's huge for high school.
Good.
Right. And you know, you can imagine all the letters and everything that we used to get during that time because they felt like I went to University of Houston or Texas Southern. But I'm like, no, I'm from the hood. I didn't eat fast food. I was eating oxtails, cornbread, greens,
red beans and rice.
Red beans, that red Kool-Aid.
So were you surprised that DeMarco has gone on this journey and arrived at this head coaching position?
Not really, because when I'm finished, I also told him that so that you were drafted by the Texans and you left the Texans and go to another team, but you coaching in the league, the opportunity for you to come back to Houston and be our coach, we sat there in that store and it's like, that'll be great. So saying that, I also told him that it'll be nice for you to come back home to be the coach because I know what type of individual you are. Plus, I know while watching him, what he will bring to the team. And I think that's what we needed at the time Bill O'Brien was coaching. And nothing against Bill O'Brien, but after a while, I didn't like how, you know, when certain people get power, they get too much power.
Too arrogant.
Yes.
Too arrogant.
To the point where you destroy yourself and what you are doing in life. And I saw that firsthand. So I was not saying I was praying for him to come back, but when the opportunity came, I was laughing because I told my wife, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna end on this here. So I've been at my job where I am now for like a year, maybe like a year and a half. So right at Easter of a year ago, I had an interview with this company, which is Southwest Irrigation. So I'm a manager there. And I talked to the owner, which I didn't know he was the owner at the time. And we talked about Lou Holtz, Bill McCarthy, my coach, Nick Saban. We talked about a lot of things, religion and spiritually and just life. And he asked me what I felt about the Texans. I say, if they get D'Amico Ryan, this city is gonna be where everybody want to come and perform, because not only because it's Houston, but you got a leader here he care about his players, but we needed an identity. If you don't have an identity of a team or whatever you do, especially football, you're going to just be a dump site. People just going to come here, get some money, and they're going to leave. But that's not what I wanted for the city. I wanted us to come get somebody that's going to bring an identity and bring in the players that you can't even get a seat now. Like, I used to take my son to the Astros game when Altuve was here. He was like, who was that little boy on the field? I said, no, he ain't no little boy. It's a grown man, but he's swinging that bat. And all of a sudden, you can't get an Astros ticket to the game. So it was one of those things. It was just kind of like, it's a pleasure to see when you work for something so hard and you reap the benefits of not only knowing somebody that's gonna do right, but you see the whole city is behind this guy. So I think we're in a good place. I don't want to speak too much more of it because I could talk all day on this subject.
Understood. Brother Blaine, what do you see about the upcoming football season? And
real quick,
who's going to be some of the top teams?
No, he's asking Blaine. Go ahead, Blaine. Go ahead, Blaine.
No, I got to get off.
Oh, G-Roy got to go. Oh, G. Okay, thanks, G. Thank you. Thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, go Dallas Cowboys. Bye.
Okay. All right. All right, my brother.
Hey, no offense.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, my brother.
I see Kansas City still on the pedestal to be knocked off.
Okay.
Buffalo, they lost all their receivers and their running backs, so I don't know what to expect out of them anymore. Baltimore, they still sitting in that second range right now. Their team is still intact. Texans, I think because of what Buffalo's done, has moved up into that top 5 spot. So if they come out the box this year, then we could have a possible either a Super Bowl team or AFC Championship game with them. On the other side,
Blaine, who is going to knock off Kansas City?
That's what I said. They at the pedestal. I don't know who can knock them off in that division over there with Buffalo losing all the people that they lost. Cincinnati, they got to stay healthy. They don't have a running back. Then you have Houston, like I said, in the top 5 in my opinion right now in that group. I don't see Jacksonville doing it. Jacksonville is too wishy-washy.
What about Pittsburgh with Wilson?
Pittsburgh, I see him play well because that's my coach. That's my coach. I love to see him with his no nonsense attitude. I want Pittsburgh to get there, but I don't want them to win a Super Bowl. That's because my brother is a Pittsburgh fan. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs guy.
Now, Carl, you know who his brother is? His brother is Quentin Smith. Played for the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll say this: Kansas City, until you beat them, they always got to be the champs. As long as you got Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid, they are still the champs and still the favorites. By the way, I went to the Kansas City Negro Hall of Fame. Everybody should share that experience. Brother DeShannon, you didn't mention any teams. You totally Texans. Nobody else you see that has a chance.
I like Kansas City. You know, you put them up there. Believe it or not, if it's a healthy, because of their defense, and I didn't like losing to them last year. They put my quarterback out for 2 games. Was the Jets. You on the NFC side, of course, you got your San Francisco's. You losing Aaron Donald, but they still got a good team down in LA. But I think it's I like the competition that we have. It's not just
I like Green Bay also.
And I was getting ready to say Green Bay is that's a sneaky team because we saw what their potential was because they went to Dallas and everybody think records. Oh, this team is undefeated at home. It don't matter about when you undefeated. It's the team that come in that's hungry and is ready to play, and they came in ready to play.
Dallas has an issue. They can't stop the run.
Not only
and
that,
they got a speed defense, but they can't stop the run. And Green Bay
and
is
I'm gonna say this,
a running team.
And I'm not gonna go out on the limb saying it. Over the 29 years that everybody keep thinking it's the quarterback, and they had all these quarterbacks. If you stay out the media and start putting added pressure on your team because you're trying to sell merchandise, let your coaches coach and let your players play. I think you get a better result of your players performing.
I agree with that.
And it's only because I've been in situations where they're just like, you got kids and you putting pressure on one kid and not the other one. And this kid feel pressure to perform. When it's time, when it get to the like I say, when the lights are bright and they hot, some people fold, some people stand up. So it's just one of those things. I'm not saying that they can't do it, but I don't expect them to do it.
Understood.
Dallas
Jeffrey Field, y'all want to chime in?
Yeah, I want to chime in on the Texans. Okay. D'Amico has been here 1 full year now. 1 full year. Just think about it. He just showed up last summer. So he's only been here 1 full year. Now look what he has done for this team in 1 full year. I mean, this team has a completely different identity. This team has more talent now than it has ever had. Ever. This team, I don't ever recall this team being this deep. This team has 8 receivers. I don't know how they go, what they gonna do, because I don't think they're gonna keep more than 5, maybe 6 receivers. But they got about 8 receivers that can make this team, and then they got like 4 or 5 running backs. So Cam Akers, I like that. They picked up Cam Akers, to go along with Pierce, to go along with Mixon. Yeah. I like that running back. And then so the key is going to come down to that offensive line. If that offensive line can stay healthy, they're going to do a good job. But you got Tunsil and Tyus Howard, they're in and out. They're in and out of the lineup. So the offensive line got to stay healthy. If they stay healthy, this team can go. I'm going to give them 12-5 if they can stay healthy. 12-5. But if not, then you could be looking at 9-8 if they're not healthy. It depends on how healthy they're going to be this year. But they have done an outstanding job. Danier Hunter is a stud. Danier Hunter is a stud.
Hey, the one weak spot the Texans do have, and people might come at me, and I already said it, from a whole team, they got depth other than quarterback.
Right.
The quarterback position, other than the second string, hasn't been proven because, you got Case, which is good to be a quarterback in that quarterback room because he's a vet. But I can't rely on the second string quarterback because I think he's still underdeveloped. He's still learning the game. And CJ came from a pro-type system when he came from Ohio State. He knew how to read coverages and do checks. This guy still struggled with that. So praying that, like you say, the offensive line and D-line is the key to our success this year because you can't block the ends.
Let me be clear. You down on my man Davis Mills?
No, I'm not down on it, but I'm just asking a question.
Okay.
Has he showed you that he can be a starting quarterback on any other team?
Okay. All right. I'm going to go back just a little bit in history. I said we had a good enough quarterback before they got C.J. Stroud. We should have depended upon offensive linemen and defensive linemen. But I didn't know how great and good C.J. Stroud was. So I have to eat a little corn on that. But
didn't somebody tell you that though?
Yeah, we all told him that. Everybody in the world told him.
I do think he's good enough to be a backup.
I mean, he's a backup.
Well, it's my turn, okay, guys?
Go ahead.
Remember last year, opening day, at home. Detroit went into Kansas City and beat Kansas City.
Right.
That's the team in the NFC that I think can be a dog horse because of their coach.
Right.
Yes.
The transition they made from worst to first. The transition they continue to make. They should have beat San Francisco. No ifs and buts and alls about it. All my 49er fans can get mad. But Kansas City is still your goals. Yeah, they're your goal balanced team in the AFC. But in the NFC, it's going to be a toss-up on a lot of things. But Detroit continues their progression. That game will happen again. And I think Detroit is going to be a team. Okay, but the only other AFC team I think that has a chance is because of both sides of the ball is the Baltimore Ravens. They are tough either way. And then they just got a good running back that's going to come in and hammer you down at the end. They're not going to blow leads at the end this year.
Yeah,
like
Derrick Henry. You know they got Derrick Henry.
But guess what?
Right.
I didn't call him by
Derrick
name.
Henry
I think everybody know who I'm talking about.
Well, Carl might not know. Carl might not
Derrick
know.
Henry can be
Derrick
stopped.
Henry.
But
Derrick
they
Henry.
lost.
I knew
They
that,
lost
Jeff.
some key
Okay,
positions.
all right.
Go ahead,
They did.
DeShannon.
But they
I'ma
have been
just say-
historically a great defensive team. And I think now Jackson is going to bring his game up even more. He's two-time MVP, but I think
Right.
his progression is good too. They have a chance. And I'm
They
They
not
always got
ruling
a
out-
chance because they
and I'm
got
not.
Jackson.
Well, that's true, but with him, they're much better. But I'm not ruling out the Texans either. You're right. Everything that's been said about the Texans is superb. They are really primed to do something. Everybody has to stay healthy. Everybody has to stay focused. And you need a little luck. You even said that yourself earlier.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this here. I'm not being biased. Like most of your championships gonna come out the AFC, honestly, because it's a more potent division. You got your San Francisco's and your Detroit's, your Green Bay's,
But that means
Maybe-
they beat each other up to get there, though.
right?
That's
Maybe
true.
Dallas, but when you got teams that got 2, 3, 4 receivers or running back and tight ends, and you got defenses that can give the ball back to the offenses, which
That's
is
Baltimore.
still
That's
like I say,
Baltimore. You're right.
and guess what? But guess what? And I like Baltimore, but the only problem is they lost key pieces on the defense.
They did. He's right. They did.
I
So
understand
I'm
that.
not
But they
saying
do that every year. Good teams get rated.
right.
And they have to draft well. Nobody drafts better than the Ravens. Tell me a team that drafts better than the
Not
Ravens.
only they just
That's
draft
Ozzie
them,
Newsome. That's all
but you
Ozzie
gotta
Newsome
coach them
job.
too.
There you go.
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah.
have coaches
Ozzie
that coach them players. So,
They
That's
do.
true. You gotta
Baltimore has that.
play. You're right.
so it's
I'm not a
I'm
Baltimore
not
fan.
taking
I'm just
nothing
saying
from
what I see.
Baltimore because you have the athletes, the like I said, you got when you build a foundation, when you got a culture, that's what people come to. You get them type of players and them coaches. And
And
of
he's
course,
stable. He's been there a long time. You're
right.
right.
And this is like next year. Slovic not going to be in the Texans.
Oh, he's going to be gone. Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
quarterback coach is not going to be. He may be the offensive coordinator, maybe, because they tried to get them this past year. But
Oh, yeah.
I like to develop of what I'm looking at. You got a player that comes on the sideline
Mm-hmm.
after he make a mistake and correct it. Go back out there and drop dimes, or he moved the ball down the field. You got guys on the defensive side do the same thing. You got a coach that allowed him to do that, and it's just one of those things. No matter what team it is, you got a strong foundation where the culture is going to keep growing and developing. So, just overall, I'm proud of Houston because we talked about the football team. You got your basketball team we talked about earlier, not to throw any things up front, but I was all in with the Astro. Everybody was talking about it. I'm like, dude, they lost a lot of key pieces, especially back catching. When you lose a person that's a quarterback, the person that calls plays and keep your locker room and your players together, and you lose your manager, just like my man Jay say, it's a new change, just like the TNT team. You have to start. You got to know what you have and work what you have. Just like me working on my job now, I'm still learning a lot, but I know a lot. But I feel like I still got a lot to offer and give. So, I mean, this is a great topic as far as the teams, because, like I said, I could talk football all day and night. I dream of football. I still dream about hitting people. You know, you know,
Oh,
it's just what I do, man.
in reference to your Astros comment, they have made a readjustment that they were sinking.
Thank you very much.
Fast.
Hey,
And we missed Dusty, but look what has
right.
happened. And the guys, Jeffrey, Carl will say this. I say this every time we come on.
They were trying to run
I
that
say,
man out of
give them
town.
time. Give
They
them
were trying
time.
to run
And
him
look
out of
what's
town,
happened.
man.
It's a readjustment. They may
Right.
not even win the pennant. They may not even be the wild card. But it's a long cry from being
Right.
10 games out to being 2 games up.
Hey,
Yeah.
and you still got.
And how many games have they played and got left?
We're into the second half, so it's less than do like 80. It's 162 games in a year. So
Yeah, we
a
had
little more than half.
and we got the Dodgers starting today, this weekend. So if we can get a game or 2 out of that I think that'll put the team confidence where it needs to be, because our bat's starting to get hot. Our pitching still suspect because we got some guys that's still out. But I think overall, this team over the last 10 years out of 7 years, they've been winning, playing in the World Series. So they know what to do at this time of the year. They just got to keep pinning their ears back and keep playing and just win them games that nobody expect them to win. But you can't lose the games that you expect to win. You know, lose. You know, them games that you're supposed to win, you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
So
You gotta win them.
you got to win.
Carl, to
Yeah.
answer your question, Carl, the Houston Astros are sitting at 53-49. They are 1 game up on Seattle. They have the same number of wins, but they have 2 less losses than Seattle. And Texans, the Texas Rangers are 2.5 games behind Houston. Houston has a total of 60 games left to play. Houston, now we have to understand. I'm proud of them, the fact that they've come back and everything, but you also have to understand, take in consideration that Houston is lucky. Houston's playing in the worst division in the conference. They playing in the worst division in the conference. So you have to understand, Houston is like 6 teams in the American League that's got a better record than Houston, even though Houston's in first place in their division. So they're lucky enough to be playing in the worst division this year. So that's helping them. Because
baseball is the one sport where wild cards win the World Series all the time.
Right.
Say again.
Baseball is the one sport where wild cards get in and can win the World Series. They've done it many times.
That's true, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about the regular season. We don't know what they're going to do when they get in the postseason. I'm just saying right now, they're lucky enough to be playing in the worst division.
But they haven't moved out of that division. They've been in that division since they've been in the American League.
I wouldn't call it luck on that one. They're just doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
True.
I just want to say that the Astros, if you're given the last 5 years or more, all the players that were so pivotal at the time that they lost and they still recycle. You all remember George Springer, Carlos Carrera, believe his name.
Yeah.
So many players that they lost who were supposed to be such an integral part, and they keep recycling. And the general manager, Dan Brown, is doing a pretty good job.
I agree.
Right. Olympics guys.
They built that farm system up pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They certainly have. And Dan Brown's appears to be doing a pretty good job. We are toward the end of our show. I just want to quickly revisit the biggest sports event. The Olympics is daily. I believe it came back on at 7 o'clock. Jeff, you know any of the schedule for the basketball?
I'm going to post it on the site. I don't have it right here in front of me.
Oh, it's Sunday.
I'm going to post it on the site. Excuse me?
Blaine said it started Sunday.
They started
Right.
Sunday.
I know USA played Serbia first. The men, the basketball team, they played Serbia first.
They
And
started
then they play South Sudan the second game.
Yeah,
And
Let's see how
the
they're gonna
ladies
do
are
that
going for their 8th gold medal
Yep.
in a row.
Yep.
I think so.
They got beaten the All-Star game.
Hey,
Yeah, I got beat by the WNBA. That just goes to show you that the WNBA could have easily put together 2 or 3 good teams that could have go over there and compete in the Olympics. They so deep in the WNBA.
yeah.
Definitely. Well, guys, I thank you. This has been our 23rd episode of Sports Take. We started with just a few of us, went through some transitions, but we are still here, and we look forward every show to bringing you powerful sports information. I think my guest, tell us your the audience full name again, brother.
I'm DeShannon Campbell, class of
DeShannon Campbell.
1990, Jack X Senior High School Hall of Famer class of 2021 inductee. So I'm proud, I'm thankful, and I'm blessed.
Congratulations.
And I want to
Brother
also
Sean.
say this. Can I say this here?
Go ahead.
So today, one of my youngest nephews enlisted in the Army. He was sweared in as a young man. So prayers to him. And I have one of my best friends, man, that's he's in a critical care unit at Kinder Hospital named Johnny McGee. So he's been there he's been in the hospital over 3 weeks. So just send our prayers to him and his family, man, and wish him the best.
Sure will, my brother. We sure will.
All right,
will.
Campbell.
Brother
DeShannon.
Blaine, you want to share?
Yeah, I wanted to show DeShawn something. He said he in the class of 2021.
I see
There
that.
you go. There you go.
Hey, I like that, brother. I appreciate
Hey,
that.
hey, DeShawn, guess what? On that with you, baby.
Hey,
There you go.
I
There you go.
appreciate.
Turn
Hey,
around, Blaine. Let me see
hey,
the other side of it. What's the other
we-
show? Let me
the
see the other
greatness
side of
got
it.
in. He said the greatness-
Congratulations, Blaine.
Okay. Okay. I like that. That's nice.
All
That's
right.
nice.
brother. And guess what? I'm gonna let my wife know that you was on the show with me.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was
Hey,
gonna
Hey,
wait till
Carl,
the
his
end to
wife
let you
is a
know.
regular on our sports site. His wife is a regular. She
Yeah,
knows.
Okay,
she,
yes, brother.
Mimi
Hey,
and
guys,
her.
Phil,
let me
you
say
want to give
about
your
Blaine
final
real
summary?
quick, guys. Blaine was an athlete and a football player from the YMCA 12 and under on up. And even played a little basketball, believe it or not. That wasn't his forte, but Blaine was a
Yeah.
football player then, as he was all the way to college and to the pros. So congratulations, Blaine. And you
Was it
too,
a
Mr.
South
Campbell.
Central
Appreciate that,
YMCA?
Philip. You know you're my dog.
That's
Hey,
right.
was it
You
South
know it all the
Central
way back.
YMCA?
South Central YMCA,
8,
Rich
8,
Grill,
9,
South Central
10,
West
11,
Virginia.
12 years old.
And
Yes,
we
sir.
played some hellacious basketball, football,
Yes,
year
sir.
round.
The good days.
Yes,
We
sir.
used to go from the
We got
YMCA
DeShannon
to
Campbell on the show.
Waco.
Man, thank
Yep.
you for coming on the show, DeShannon.
Give us
Big
your
dog.
final
Appreciate
word,
y'all,
Jack.
man. Thankful,
Final
brother.
word is, hey, I want to thank everybody. It was a good show, man. Very good show, man. I really want to give a big shout out to DeShannon, man, because we got DeShannon at the last minute. I didn't get DeShannon to the day because I had cancellations with Rick and Carbon. So I'm like, I gotta fill in. I got to backfill, and I called him, and well, actually, reached out to his wife, and then I was able to get him, and he's like, yeah, I do it just like that, and he's here. So hey, give this man a lot of credit. We appreciate
yeah.
you, man. You are
We
a
thank you,
family
brother.
member of the show. You are the family. Oh, one last thing, Carl, I want to say. Can we have a moment of silence for Mr. Gene Peterson, who passed away?
Can I add one more to that?
Yes.
I had a classmate, Denise Presley. She went back all the way to me with the YMCA 2, all the way through Yates.
Okay.
She passed away a couple of days ago as well.
Oh, okay.
Amen. Amen.
All right. And a moment of silence for Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
She's gonna be missed big time. Big time. Wow, she's got like 5 or 6. They got like 5 or 6 services planned for her. So she's gonna get a lot of coverage. So hey guys, appreciate everyone. Go ahead, Carl.
We are thankful for every day that we get, and we honor those who have meant so much. So we take it one day at a time. We'll see you in 2 weeks on Sportstake. Every 2 weeks, we're going to be here with the pulse of sports. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you then.